Hi, I'm Stacy Willoughby, and I am running for state representative for District 12, Position 1.
What made you want to run?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I'm the board president for Chelan Valley Hope, and a couple of years ago, we've shared space with the Lake Chelan Food Bank, and we were looking to expand that. And it took a lot of partnerships with the state and the county and the city and PUD and neighbors. And that was kind of my role, is to be the diplomat or the pusher or the whatever it took to get it done. And I found that I really enjoyed that kind of work and thought that that's what I could do for this area.
Nice. So you're running as a Democrat.
Right,
Yes. In a famously conservative district.
right.
But that has changed because of redistricting
Right.
recently. So what makes you, confident that a Democrat can win?
Well, so the redistricting is new, but they still haven't been able to elect a Democrat in this district. So what I see is that it's not really Democrat versus Republican, it's more rural versus urban. And so this district is all still very rural. But the people from Eastern Washington, they want to know that their voices are being heard in Olympia. And so, I'm a new-ish resident to the area, but we've been coming and enjoying this area for years, and it's hard not to see what some of the issues are.
Yeah. And what are some of those issues?
So yeah, people talk about farmers having to sell their property, small towns losing their small town feel. The number of conversations that we get into just in the city of Chelan about whether the one-way bridge should become a two-way bridge, like these are the kinds of things that people care about, but not all of them can be solved by different parts of the government. So I want to focus on housing, especially Chelan and Leavenworth really have a tough time with housing, but that's an issue across the country. And the state has been doing some good work around that lately, but I think we need to get more creative on what we can do in these special little areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about your background, education. What do you do for work?
Sure.
And how do you think that's going to give you, translate to the legislature if
Yeah.
you're elected?
Yeah, so so my background, so I'm a military brat. I was born in Seattle, but we've lived all over the world and many parts of the country. So I graduated from Oak Harbor High School on Whidbey Island and went to Central for a little while, but that didn't quite work out. So, just started working, and I've always been like a lifelong learner. It just wasn't always, I think college just wasn't at the right time for me. Because I still pay for schooling all the time, professional and whatever. Anyway, so I've been in finance since 2001. I did some retail management before, and there's plenty of finance involved in retail management, but I've been in finance since 2001. So as a banker, as a financial advisor, I wrote a book on personal finance. And I'm currently a branch manager. So I feel like I have a really good sense of how people are dealing with their pocketbook issues, and the kinds of conversations that people are having right now with prices of gas and the prices of, everything right now is just, it's really something. And so I want to bring whatever I can to help with that conversation. A big part of what I want to do, and I don't know if this is something I'm sure it's not something I can work on in the first couple of years, in the House is our tax system. I think Washington has this really strange piecemeal system to try to do all the things that we're trying to do, and we just keep adding new taxes when we're trying to do anything new. But there's a whole lot of cleanup and backlog, and how do all the different pieces work together so that we can keep enhancing economic development and keeping things affordable for working families.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, which
Right.
is the millionaire's tax,
Right.
Brian Burnett, your opponent and the incumbent, has made his views very clear about it. What's your take?
So my take is that I think it's a good thing that the state did that. But it would have been better if they had also gotten rid of some taxes along with that. So maybe the B&O tax, or maybe they could have included some promises that they would have never, like everybody's afraid that they're going to start going down in the income levels, and I don't see that happening. But for the people to have trust in the government, it would have been better if they'd gotten rid of something.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there's been so much fear mongering around the millionaire's tax. You know, from everything. Some of the funniest I thought I saw was, you know, the Seahawks are all going to move, right? It's just like red alarm fire.
Right,
We're going
right.
to lose all of our sports and everything. All the millionaires are going to move out of the country. But I think what you just said about maybe lifting some of the burden on the middle class, especially around B&O taxes or small business taxes, make it easier to be a business owner.
Right.
While shifting some of that burden off the middle class and onto the
Yeah.
1%.
Well, like property taxes as an example. As we were, getting set up, I was telling you a little bit about how we were building our house, and so the first year that we were living in our house, which was 2021, we got this valuation that was just insane when we didn't even have like 2 finished bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a large house because I want to have lots of kids in my house, grandkids and nieces and nephews and all of that. And then the following year, the value of our house went up another $500,000. Like, we're not on the water.
Yeah.
We're up in the mountains. You should see the road to get to my house, and it's still not done. Which, my husband will get to that eventually. But so what we had to do to fight that was pay for an appraisal. It was like $800 or $900, and they did change the values way back down. The whole entire neighborhood benefited, like, I don't know, 2-3 miles around us. And not everybody can do that. Not everybody knows how to fight for things or, do the things you need to do to pay the appropriate amount of tax.
Yeah.
So that's a burden that most people should not have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of sticker shock recently about property taxes because they just came out.
Yeah.
And people are pretty fed up, and I
Sure.
can't blame them. But when actually, like you said, housing is a big issue in our district, there's just not enough inventory. Let's talk about what really differentiates you from your opponent. What are some of the main things other than party affiliation?
Sure. So I feel like I'm pretty moderate on some things. Like, there's probably some things that we have in common, like reducing some of the red tape and some of the permit hurdles for new housing developments and for people to build their own houses. I think that that's something that we probably have in common. I haven't spoken to him about it. But the things that I feel that are different about me is that because of that military upbringing, I had a new best friend every year. I went to 3 different first grades and 3 different fourth grades. I'm really good at connecting with people and figuring out ways that we can work together to get something done. Like, nothing has to be my way or the highway. We're going to get this all done together. And whatever the issues are, because there are a lot of issues, I think that's going to be my main strength.
Yeah. The other thing that we've just been talking about, these are kitchen table issues, right? That's what they say in politics.
Right.
You want to talk to voters about what affects them economically. And one thing I've noticed from Brian is that he's been very vocal about policing issues. The fact that he doesn't he wants the masks for ICE and other law enforcement to stay. These don't seem to me to be like kitchen table issues that are going to impact the 12th district residents every day of their lives. What are some things that if you were elected, you would get to Olympia and say, hey, I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
I want to get involved in this.
Right. So, it makes sense that he is working with those issues because that's his background, right? So where my heart is in these foundational, basic things that everybody needs. So food, housing, feeling safe, which, he works on. So, I appreciate that. But, I'm half Filipina. I don't know if you know a lot of Filipinos, but you never leave a Filipino house without getting fed. Like my mother was famous for door-to-door vacuum salesman, got fed. They got robbed one time, and that guy was offered food. So anyway, I don't know how to not be that way, but if there are people that are hungry, then I'm gonna help with that. And if kids are gonna learn and do better, they need a safe, secure place to call home that's on a consistent basis. So housing is really one of my biggest issues. So like I said earlier, I'm the board president for Chelan Valley Hope, and we are actively looking for a transitional housing, a place to start doing that. So in Chelan County, the wait list for permanent supportive housing is 200 something. It's been that long as I've lived in the area. And where are those people going to live while they're waiting for that permanent supportive housing? So we're trying to provide something like that up in Chelan.
Wow. Is this the first office you've ever run for? Have you other than your nonprofit work, done
I
politics?
think I was treasurer in junior year. That's probably it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid to do big, scary things, even though this feels a little like all of that. Just because I'm, learning about it as I go. But like I said, I've been a lifelong learner. I've been reading the books and talking to a lot of people and figuring it out. And I don't know why I say it's scary. I'm not afraid. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, and good for you. I applaud anybody, even Republicans, conservatives, maybe not MAGA people, but traditional, reasonable people. We need more of them in politics, especially now. We need reasonable people to run for everything.
Yeah.
I call it the coalition for reason.
Yeah.
I don't care about whether you have a D or an R.
Sure.
Do you believe in facts and science and common sense?
Yeah.
And those are the types of people we need in Olympia and in the federal government, especially the federal government. My last question is going to be, what's your stance on AI in your campaign? Are you going to use AI to doctor up your photos?
Yeah, I don't imagine using AI. I mean, I was just talking about how the personal relationship is so important, and AI can't replicate that. And otherwise we would be trying to limit what it's able to do right now. So yeah, I don't imagine.
Yeah, so we're probably not going to see a picture of Stacy Willoughby as a superhero flying through the fighting.
Riding a tiger or witch on a broom. No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's good. My last question is always, is there anything that we didn't cover that you want the public to know or you think that we should cover?
When we were talking earlier, I was reminded that, so we've lived on a couple different military bases in my life, and everybody associates so much of the military as being Republican, and and that might be true as far as how people vote and where the money gets spent. But on a military base, like when you're a kid, everything there is part of the infrastructure. The schools, the gyms, the taekwondo. Like, it's all a part of everything. Like, there's all these family services and morale, welfare, and recreation, so that not everybody has to have their own tools for things. So maybe there's just part of that I want to bring to this. Like, that feels very community-oriented, and I appreciate that. So that's the reason I'm doing this, is to help with our community feelings.
Wow. Well, good for you. Where can people learn more about you, your campaign?
Yeah.
Are you going to be appearing in person at any forums coming up, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm sure that will happen. It's still early these days. I'm going to attend Leavenworth Community Engagement Night. I think that's the first week of May. I'm going to be at the Chelan County Commissioners meeting tonight. There will be events. I'll be at Chelan Earth Day on April 18th. But you can find out more about me on stacyforhouse.com. STACY forhouse.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Yeah, thank you, Dominic.